Faith without the filter, what believing really looks like. You can believe Yah and still be tired. You can trust Him and still have questions. You can walk in faith without pretending you've arrived. That's honest faith. That's faith without the filter. Let's get into it. So I just want to say good morning and welcome again. So today we're going to have a conversation about faith beyond church language. And when I say that, I'm talking about clichés that we often say. You know, somebody say, "Hey, how you doing?" Is, "Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored," or "I'm good," or you know, "God woke me up this morning and the cleanliness is next to godliness," and you know, "God helps those who helps themselves." And some of these aren't in the Bible. Some of these are phrases that we use to kind of hide behind. And I'm not telling you what to say. I'm really just kind of asking why we say those things. Most of the time, we don't have the words to say. And when we do have the words, we really just don't want to say, "Well, I'm not doing so good," or, "Yeah, things are going bad." So we don't want to use those words because then we have to explain. Then we have to be vulnerable. And sometimes it's safer to use that language than to just be honest. Faith doesn't require us to perform strength while we're being strengthened, because you know in 2 Corinthians 12 and 9, he says that his strength is made perfect in our weakness. Yeah, we don't have to perform while we're still being strengthened. All right. And even now with faith and how it looks in real life is normally the wait. Even for myself, I know I've been waiting for y'all to do something for me since 2023, and here it is 2026, and I'm still waiting. Still waiting. While everything is still happening, while everything is going on, while situations don't look like I may want them to look. But of course, you know, his thoughts are not our thoughts, neither are his ways our ways. And like the word says, as high as the heavens are above the earth, so is his thoughts our thoughts, and his ways our ways. And it's always in his timing, not our own. So, yeah, right now, the only thing I can do is stand. Still stand, just stand on his word, and knowing that in Hebrews 11 and 1, faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. And real faith is believing after you've been waiting for however long. When it comes to faith, the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things that I do believe is it's a control thing. Because most of the time we want to know the outcomes. We want to know when it's going to happen, what time. You know, when I pray, I say, "Thank you, Father, Yah, for showing me what to do, when to do, and how to do it, where to go, what time to be there, and who to talk to when I get there." And so most of the time we want to know the outcomes. We've got to know the timelines. We want to have the certainty. We want control. And when you're in faith, you have to relinquish the control. Because Proverbs 20 and 24 says that man's goings are of Yahuwah, so how can he then know his own way? When you're submitted and committed to the Father, he orders your steps. Your life is predestined, it's already determined. Like he said in Jeremiah, I think it's Jeremiah 1, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I knew you before I formed you." So everything is already ordered out. Like he said, he knows the end before the beginning. And faith doesn't mean that you know what's going to happen. It just know faith is you knowing who is going to make it happen and believing in that. You know, what does faith look like in the valleys? And when I say the valleys, the real life, because we all go through things. We go through battles, we go through different situations, and like David said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because thou art with me." Now, David said that, of course, because David had, you know, experience with him. He knew him. He knew that he was his protector when he was fighting Goliath, because the first thing he said to Goliath was, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Meaning, who is this dude who over here trying to come up against you? And let me do the whole thing. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine trying to defy the armies of the living Yah? Come on, somebody. We want to say it that way, because he knew that this man was not in covenant with Yah. Meaning, if you're not in covenant, he is a covenant keeping Yah. Come on, somebody. And so, because he's that, David already knew that Goliath had no chance, because he knew he had experienced him when he fought the bear, when he fought the lion, you know, when he fought the wolf. He knew then. He had experience with him. He had experience with him. He already knew that he was his provider. And that's what I was going to say. When you're in the valley, if you have a financial valley, you have to know him as your Yahuwah Yireh, your provider. When you are going through a sick valley, you have to know him as your Yahuwah Rapha, because he is the God that heals. He is our healer. And like he says, by his stripes ye were healed. That's past tense. You have to know him as those things. You have to know him if you're going through a season where you may have everything else going together, but you might not have any peace. And you want to know him as your Yahuwah Shalom. And, you know, I don't want to think that everyone knows him as that right now, because I do know that as you grow, as you walk with him, you get to experience more of him. And the more time you spend with him, the more he opens up himself, because you know Yah is omnipresent and he has many names. It's important for me to clarify that not everyone knows him this way yet, and that's okay. That's okay. Because as we grow and get to know him, he reveals the different aspects of his characteristics to us. Faith is a shield. And when I say a shield, it's experience. It's experience. And so faith is not, it isn't blind optimism. It's built on experience. Okay? And when I say experience, like Hebrews 11:6, it says, but without faith it's impossible to please him. For he that comes to Elohim must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And so when I say experience, that means you've experienced him. You're standing because you know him. And I believe because I've experienced him. And when I say experience, I'm talking about everyone should have that one thing. If not, some of us have multiple things, but at least one thing that you know that Yah did it for you, that no one else did it. He did it. He was the only one, and you know that he did it. That right there, that's your seed. That's the seed that you take and you plant that and you stand on that and you build from that moment, from that testimony. You build there because you know that no one else did it for you. And when you have a knowing, you know means to experience, okay? You know because you've experienced it. You've done this. That's how you know it. And like I said, so you know that he did it for you and no one but him did it. So you stand on that seed and you plant that seed and you water that seed and you build on that. So anytime the doubt tries to creep in, anytime something tries to come against what you're believing, especially if he told you or he showed you something, you know that he is not a God that he would lie, nor the Son of Man that he shall repent. His word will not return unto him void, but it will accomplish whereunto he sent it. And if he gave you his word, that's your seed and that's your promise, because he can do all things but fail. He cannot fail. He cannot fail. And the biggest thing is when everything is shaking around you, again, you stand on that seed, knowing that if he did it before, he will definitely, and he can definitely do it again. Believe that. And so what faith without the filter really means is you being honest and rooted, tested, and experienced. And when in Psalms 139, 1 through 2, O Yahuwah, you have searched me and known me. You know my down sitting and my uprising. You understand my thoughts afar off. You compass my path, and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Yahuwah, you know it all together. Being honest with him, giving him everything, telling him everything, because there's nothing we can hide anyway. To be rooted in him. I'm going to go to Colossians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7, where it says, as ye have therefore received Mashiach Yahusha, our Adonai, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving, and also to be tested. In James 1, verses 2, 3, 4, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. And I'm going to also give you another one for tested. And this comes out of Ecclesiasticus. Yes. So Ecclesiasticus is a book out of, just in case, this is a book out of the Sefer, and it's a wisdom book that Solomon wrote. And so I'm coming from Ecclesiasticus 2 and verses 1 through 5. It says, my son, if you come to serve Yahuwah, prepare your soul for temptation. Set your heart aright and constantly endure. And make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that you may be increased at your last end. And this is what reminds me of James. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully, and be patient when you are changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Come on, somebody. So, faith without the filter, again, means to be honest, to be rooted, to be tested. Come on, somebody. And have that experience where you know that he did it. So you have a seed and you already know that he's done it before. And like I said, he will do it again. So it's still standing, still believing, and still trusting no matter what. Because faith isn't pretending that things are okay. Faith is trusting Yah while they're not. Knowing, like his word says, eyes have not seen, come on, in 1 Corinthians 2 and 9, eyes have not seen, neither have ears heard or even entered into the hearts of men the things that Yah have planned for those of us who love him. He's given everyone a measure of faith. And your faith is not going to always be strong. We all have moments where our faith does not. We can have faith in one area like this and then faith in another area like this because we're people. And that's the easiest way I can explain it. Sometimes your faith can be high over here and it could be over here low, you know, because it's different situations, different things. And sometimes we look at what is out here, but like we said, we're not supposed to look at the things outside. And when I say outside, the word says that everything that you can see is temporary and subject to change. And even in his word, he says it's an easy thing on the sudden for Yahuwah to make a poor man rich, for him to change your situation just like that. So Our thing is to believe, to trust him with all of our hearts and lean not into our own understanding, but in all of our ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So, faith without the filter, like I said, it's not polished, it's not perfect, it's just real. So if this did speak to you, sit with it, and remember there is grace here. Have a great day. Thank you for sitting with me in this space. If this conversation blessed you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need it. We're walking this out together, one day at a time. Until next time, there is grace here.